Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we are going to be discussing a few new Dragons Rising Season 4 minifigure leaks that we should probably talk about. Now, of course, in terms of actual images, this isn't really anything new. We've had images of all of the figures that we will talk about in this video for quite some time. However, now we know actual names, at least to an extent. A lot of the minifigures that have been leaked in the past for Dragons Rising Season 4 now have names attached to them. Just remember, these early leaks are never finalized, things are always subject to change. And for a final disclaimer, I will not be able to show any images in today's video, obviously because they are leaks, so I will link the images down below in the description. Check them out if you feel so inclined. And in terms of the names here, we primarily have names surrounding the villain minifigures, all of the weird monsters that were leaked for Dragons Rising Season 4, and in the case of one of them specifically, it is a little bit disappointing. Apparently, the Rox lookalike is not actually Rox, but instead is known as Loyalist. Sure. The green vine monster is called the mutant monster. Could have guessed that. The tan monster with the crab hands is called the earth monster, and the purple and green snake is apparently called the acid monster. And apparently, the monsters are elemental masters. Not so much the loyalist, but the mutant monster, the earth monster, and the acid monster, those are said to be elemental masters according to the early leaks. Yeah, so obviously the most disappointing thing to come out of this is the idea that the loyalist is not actually Rox, despite the character looking very similar to Rox, similar color scheme, similar creepy mask, very much capturing the Rox vibe, but obviously it is a little bit taller than Rox would be normally. Rox uses the medium legs, this loyalist character uses the tall legs. That's the only thing that suggests that it's not Rox. Otherwise, again, the figure looks a lot like Rox. It even has the word fear spelled out on the torso, at least given what we've seen so far. Fear being Rox's elemental power. So the idea that it's not actually Rox and instead is some kind of loyalist, again, kind of disappointing. But what exactly do they mean by loyalist? Well, maybe following Dragons Rising Season 3, there could potentially be a cult that worships the Forbidden Five. Maybe the Loyalists saw the Forbidden Five in action during Season 3, decided to follow them, more specifically Rox. Maybe there's more than one Loyalist, and if that's the case, again, maybe they are a cult that worships Rox. If anything, these guys could be seen as the new Wolf Clan. They might even be various members of the Wolf Clan, taking on a new identity as actual loyalists to Rox, not so much the Forbidden Five as a group. Maybe it's a new villain altogether inspired by Rox. In terms of the other monsters, Ninjago fans out there theorized that maybe these monsters could be mutated versions of the Forbidden Five, since one of them has a hat that looks very similar to Kerr's hat. That could always be the case too. And again, considering the Loyalist does look a lot like Rox, I would not be surprised if these monsters somehow connect back to the Forbidden Five. Not sure how they would though. Also, apparently the mutant monster, the earth monster, and the acid monster are all elemental masters. Not sure what powers they would have, because the mutant monster, I mean, green vines, that could be anything. Could be forest, could be jungle, some type of new elemental power. Maybe it's going to be piggybacking off of life, Lloyd's power. The earth monster is also kind of weird. Are we getting another master of earth? Did it just copy Cole's power? Is it the master of sand finally? We've theorized that before too. And in terms of the acid monster, that reminds me of the elemental master of poison. So again, did this snake monster just kind of copy Tox's power? It's hard to say. Again though, apparently they are elemental masters, so do with that information what you will. Of course, I think the most disappointing thing to come out of this is the idea that the minifigure that looks very similar to Rox isn't actually Rox, at least according to these leaks, which could always be wrong, they could always change, and honestly, part of me hopes that they do change, because I'm not the biggest fan of how this is looking so far. The monster designs are kind of cool though, and once again, I will be linking the images down below in the description. Check them out if you feel so inclined. In the meantime, everyone, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know down below in the comments what exactly you think about all of this, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. That's going to pretty much do it for my thoughts here. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Peace.